sit here, yeah.
Hey everybody, welcome to Rosetree. This is our mini gallery that you're looking at, set up in the studio, just so you get a little taste of the kind of things that we do here. For those of you who have never been here before, I'm Mark. I'm the owner, along with my wife, Brenda, and we own Rosetree Blown Glass Studio and Gallery in Algiers, New Orleans, Louisiana. Again, these are the kind of pieces that we make here in the studio. So come on over here, we're going to talk a little bit. As you can see, today's a little warmer than it's usually been. I'm schwitzing a little bit. So I want to welcome you all here. And what we're going to do today is we're going to try something new. I think what's happened over I guess we've been doing this about 6 weeks. Over the 6 weeks is kind of moved away from being an instructional kind of thing for students and kids and teachers. And I want to pull that back. I want to get back to me explaining and teaching what we do. So what we're going to do is for the next 2 weeks, as I wrote in my Facebook and Instagram posts, this is going to be for kids. So I want kids under the age of 16. What we're going to do is for the next 3 showings, we're going to devise a kind of little fun quiz. And what we'll do is we'll have it on Facebook as a either MailChimp or some sort of survey, and you can answer questions. And what we'll do at the end of next Tuesday, we'll get everybody to start submitting. And on Thursday, what we'll do is we'll draw a winner of people who have submitted, and what they're going to get. What the kid is going to get is we're going to get a marble. Not just any marble. These are like fantasy marbles. And what we'll do on next Thursday is I will make the marble that you're going to get. So hopefully you'll tell your friends, you'll tell other teachers, librarians. I know there are a couple out there watching. If you submit the fun quiz, then the winner will get a marble. And if we get a lot of response, we might continue it and do another one the weeks after that. So I think that's all the housekeeping we have to do. So what we're going to do is today we're going to make a square bowl. And this is our square bowl. You see it's nice and colorful inside, has some nice motion and movement to it. It's a real nice seller for us, and we'll get started on that. So again, those of you who have a watch party, if you ask questions, I can't see them. So if you have a question or a comment to us, you got to go on to the direct feed. And as always, thumbs and hearts, we love those. Know that you're out there. And so let's get started.
Jerry Lynn said, "Yay, marbles, finally."
Jerry Lynn is a friend of ours who lives out in Arizona. She's a wonderful marble maker, but she makes marbles a little different than I'll be making them. She makes them on a torch, and she sells her marbles all around the country at different expos, different, what's the word?
Conventions.
No, the
Comic-Cons.
Comic-Cons, thank you. Sorry, Jerry Lynn. She does them at different Comic-Cons, and she's now, because the Comic-Cons aren't happening now, she has put up her own website. Jerry Lynn, again, put your URL there, and everybody can go and see what you can do, what you do. So, there's a blowpipe. Blowpipe's the same kind of tool that glass blowers have been using for over 2,000 years. So same kind of steps and all that I'm going to use, they used 2,000 years ago. Obviously they didn't have stainless, rubber, and plastic. They used clay, actually. Clay pipes to get the glass out. In here, this is our furnace. Furnace has a big bowl inside called a crucible. Crucible can hold up to 400 pounds of molten glass. All right, kids, if you're out there, what does molten mean? I'm going to give you a little bit of time to answer. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to roll this on this table called a marver. And I'm going to do what's called an air trap to start my bubble. So I am smoothing it out, blowing it to the end, cover it with my hand, with my thumb, and you'll see a bubble appear on the inside. So, molten, and this might be something on that quiz that you might have to know. Molten means a liquid. So something is usually a solid that turns into a liquid when it's heated up really, really hot. When it turns into a liquid, it's molten. Just like, does anybody know what molten rock is called? I'm making my bubble a little bit bigger. So molten rock, as you know it, is called lava. And that's what comes out of a volcano. It's really, really, really hot. And so it turns the rocks into a liquid called lava. Okay, so that's my first gather. A gather is when you put the glass on the end of the pipe. And this is going to be a 3-gather piece. So it'll be, first gather is going to be clear, second gather is going to be color, third gather is going to be clear again on top. Anybody have any questions yet out there? Do we have anybody out there? A few people?
Oh yeah, we've got watchers. Aaron
Okay.
said, ooh, this is hard stuff. Anthony said, I can make the marble, but you got me on the bowl.
Okay. Alright, so we're waiting for this to lose a little bit of color. If it's really, really hot and I go back into the furnace, what'll happen is that glass will heat this glass up too quickly and it'll become a really floppy mess. So I'm waiting a little bit to give this some structure underneath the next level, the next layer. Alright, so it's lost most of its color. So I'm going to get another layer, and I'm going to start putting color on. Again, I have 400 pounds of molten glass in here. So that's my second layer, my second gather. And you see, if I have to turn it all the time. If I stop turning, it starts to drip. So I have to keep turning it to keep it on the pipe. So I'm going into the colored chips. And the hot glass, the chips are small enough that they heat up when the hot glass rolls over them and they stick to the glass. I'm going to heat these in. All right. Next thing, Darcy, what do I always ask? If who's watching out there and where you're from?
The furthest and the closest.
The furthest and the closest. So we want to see how far you are from here and how close you are from here. I know people have contacted me from all over the country saying they watch, which is really great. The actual viewership on here, I'm humbled by the number of people that watch us here.
We've got
So-
Linda from Birmingham, Alabama.
Welcome.
We may have our closest already, Bounty Street.
Ooh, that's 4 blocks. All right, we need somebody on Villette Street.
For anybody who came in late, this is what we're doing today. We have Aaron from Baton Rouge.
Welcome. So we also we showed some pieces in our mini gallery. We also have some sale pieces on our website, and our website is www.rosetreegallery.com. And it's getting a little late for Mother's Day, unless you're close by. We can ship tomorrow if it's only a 2-day shipping from here, and I'll get there before Mother's Day. But other than that, glass is just good to have around all the time. It makes great gifts, but it's just great to live with a piece of art in your home. All right, so that's my second layer, and now I'm going to use an ice pick to manipulate, to change the decoration on there to do the specific decoration that I want on the piece.
So we have Columbus, Ohio.
Great.
Williston, North Dakota.
Ooh, that's pretty far.
Gold Canyon, Arizona, and Baton Rouge.
Wonderful.
And since I'm terrible at geography, I'm going to let you figure out who's the furthest.
Well, I think North Dakota was the one we had.
Yeah, Williston, North
I
Dakota.
think North Dakota might be the farthest so far. So we got to get somebody up in the Pacific Northwest to chime in. So like Seattle area or Oregon, Northern California.
We do have Stamford, Connecticut.
Wonderful. That's my hometown. That's where I was from. Now I guess I'm from here. Amazing how it happens. Okay, so I'm putting the start of my decoration in just by combing and pulling the color across the piece. So I'm going to heat this up again and comb it one more time.
Laura said Baton Rouge is the farthest with traffic.
Actually, now it's no traffic at all. You're probably getting Baton Rouge in a half hour. Most people are doing that. So anyway, I'm heating this up really hot. In my reheating chamber is actually hotter than the furnace. So the furnace was 2,050 degrees. This reheating chamber is probably 2,100, 2,200 degrees. So it is a bit hotter. You're going to be surprised how 100 degrees or 200 degrees difference between the two affects the glass. So there's no glass inside here, it's just hot. It's just built to trap the heat inside so that I could reheat the glass.
Aaron wants to know where we are.
Where we are, state of confusion. No, we are in Algiers Point, New Orleans, Louisiana. Beautiful Algiers Point, New Orleans, Louisiana. So I'm just pulling that. This is just a design that I do a lot of, that I came up with, that I like. So it's feathered up and down, and I'm going to heat this up and smooth it out. You can see while I'm doing this, it takes longer to do the heat than it does allow me to have time to actually work on the piece. So it's only like 30 seconds or so that I have to make my deliberate move, and then I have to reheat it again. Again, I'm turning all the time while I'm in the reheating chamber. And for those of you who came in late, we are going to be doing a special project with kids under the age of 16, where we're going to have a kind of fun quiz that we're going to do at the end of next week's Tuesday session. And those of you who answer the quiz, you're going to have a chance to win a marble kind of like that. But I will make the marble for you next Thursday, not this Thursday coming up, the Thursday after. So I'll keep rotating and turning and heating. I'm trying to heat, there's some little ridges in it. I'm trying to heat those ridges out. If I go in with the ridges in the next layer with those ridges in it, those ridges will catch some bubbles. And there's some pieces I like having bubbles, like the marble has some nice bubble, what I call bubble traps, and they're planned out and deliberate. But if it's a bubble that's not deliberate, it happens, but I like it better when I plan it. There's nothing wrong with a bubble or two because it is handmade. They're not going to be perfectly perfect, but that's kind of, you know, what you want. If everything is perfectly perfect in a piece, then nobody's is unique. Like a little bit more, made a little bit bigger. So, you know, nobody's is going to be unique, and why would you want to have the same thing that everybody else has? You want something, a piece of art that is just yours. Okay, so, decoration's all done. I'm going to sit for a second. You'll see that I have some nice pulls up and back. I have some swirls going around. And I have a nice shape that's going to be for getting my next layer of glass on top. So I'm anticipating what is coming on next. Next is going to be one more layer of glass, and then I'll start shaping and blowing. I hope everybody's having a good time today. From what I understand, northeast is supposed to get snow. And it's what, May? It's Cinco de Mayo, it's May 5th. I used to live in the northeast, and I don't remember it getting snow this late, but maybe I'm just selectively not remembering, forgetting. So, you'll see that the color of the pipe underneath is still a little orange, orangey red. That's still okay, because I know now that the glass is hard, and I'm going to get another layer on top.
Jennifer wants to know, do you do any commissioned pieces?
Yes, to a degree. What I usually do is we can adapt the kind of things. We have a very broad line, so we kind of adapt what we have as a commission. So you see a color you want on a different piece, or, you know, it just depends. So that's my final gather. So that's all the glass that I'm going to put on the piece itself. And we do some commissions. We do awards for a lot of groups and some schools and that kind of thing. So if you want that, just give us a call and I'll talk to you and we can figure out what to do for you. Not a problem. So I'm using what's called a block. This is a block. It's a carved piece of wood that is soaked, so that when the glass is in the wood, you notice it doesn't really flame up all of a sudden. It rides on a bed of steam. So it doesn't actually hit the glass, the glass doesn't actually hit the wood. A little cushion of steam in between.
We've got Massachusetts in the house.
Wonderful.
And Barry said that New York is here, but it's late. They made it.
Welcome, New York.
Aaron wants to know how long you've been making glass.
I've been blowing glass 42 years.
And Tracy was saying, hi, happy Cinco de Mayo and enjoy a margarita this evening. Which I might just have to do that.
Thank you, and yes, happy Cinco de Mayo. Taco Tuesday. Okay, so I'm shaping it with the wood block. Now, if there are any kids out there, if you're watching on your own computer, say hello, tell me where you're from. If you're watching with a parent, parents, say hello, tell me where you are. Just so I know that there's some students and parents and teachers who are taking advantage of this as an art lesson. So I'm heating this up again. So you see, I don't have a whole lot of time. I have to be very deliberate about what I do each time I come out of the reheating chamber. So I'm going to blow this up a little bit more. Again with an air trap. When the cold air hits the hot glass, it heats up and expands and blows out my bubble. So you see the bubble is getting bigger.
Laura wants to know when we're starting classes back.
I wish I knew. It's a very tricky thing. Who was that, Laurel or Laura?
Laura.
Laura, it's a tricky thing just because there's so much close interaction with that. So it might be a while, but believe me, I want it to happen. I miss having people in. I miss the spirit of people coming in. And as soon as we do it, I will post it on Facebook and on our website. That the schedule when it comes up.
Turn it.
Put it off. What?
I flipped the camera again. But I've now learned how I did it.
Oh, it's showing Darcy? Everybody see Darcy?
In my fantastic hair day.
Okay, these are called jacks. And what I'm doing is I'm scoring a line. I'm crimping a line in the piece. You see, I'm choking it down using the jacks. And that line is going to be very important later on. We'll come back to that in a little bit.
So we've got Jennifer from South Mississippi, who is also a history teacher.
Oh, wonderful. Jennifer, where were you last week when I was doing class history? We did all class history last Tuesday. So I'm opening the doors a little bit wider. I'm heating the whole thing up again. I'm going to start to blow it out a little bit bigger still. There's a definite measurement that I want for this to make it the right size in the end. So what I'm holding it with is a graphite impregnated cloth, and that will not burn. So that helps me shape the glass. I'm redefining that jack line, and I'm going to do my first check on my calipers. It's real close. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to heat it up and shape it again.
Now you got both sides open?
Both sides open, so I can move the piece in and out. Heating up the whole piece, and then I'm going to heat up the bottom because I want the bottom to start flaring out a little bit. So you see the shape is changing, it's now getting to be more of a low bowl kind of shape. So I'm going to flatten the bottom. So like I usually explain, parts of a bowl, parts of a vase have names like body parts. So this is the foot, this is the body, this is the lip. This could also be called the shoulder. If it was longer in a vase, that would be the shoulder. So I'm making the bottom flat. And then if you can see the color, it's a little bit kind of orange on the bottom. So I'm going to use some compressed air. Just cool that off a tiny bit. Even it off with the rest of the piece. So now I'm going to transfer. I'm going to take another rod with a little bit of glass on it, stick it on the bottom, and cut it off here on that jack line that I crimped in, so that it'll separate from the pipe and go onto that other rod, which is called a punty.
So we have a question.
Sure.
Esther, age 10, wants to know how do you know where the colored glass is?
On the piece, you can see the different colors, and you can see the clear in it. Once I transfer it, you'll be able to see it a little bit better. And it's a lot of experience knowing when I put it on and where I put it on, so I know where it is. Rod. Now this rod is hollow, but it's not, you can't blow down through it. I'm going to attach this to the bottom. So two glass pieces, if one is hot, and if both are hot, it'll stick. If one is hot and the other is not, it won't stick. So you got to know when one is hot enough and one is, so it's kind of knowing different heating of the glass just by timing and feel. So I'm taking water on that jack line on my file. My file has diamonds on it. Not quite like diamonds on Mom's wedding ring. They're industrial diamonds, but still not cheap. And I'm cutting a line, and then I'm going to tap it, hopefully it comes off right on my line. Now I'm going to heat this whole thing back up.
So when you put the punny on, it has to be as close to center as possible?
It has to be centered or it won't, it'll be really off kilter when I open up the piece.
Multitasking there.
So I'm heating up the lip of the piece was the coldest part of it, because that's the part that broke off. So now I can heat that up really well, because that's the piece we want to shape. That's a part of the piece that we want to shape. So I'm always what we call flashing the bottom, which is keeping some heat in it so it doesn't crack, and doing a hard heat on the lip of the piece. Again, remember, the lip is the top part, the opening. Just like the lip, your lips are the top part and opening of your body. Now the jacks are nice because I could now use those to start opening the piece. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to heat it up again, and I'm going to trim it. We trim it using special, what we call shears, which are a fancy term for scissors. So it's glass blowing scissors.
So I want to know, do you sell your t-shirts?
We do. We just ordered some new tie-dye ones in a different tie-dye style, because the other ones were a limited edition and no longer available. It just depends on the size. We have some blue ones, we have some tie-dye ones, but yes, we do. And Darcy, that's probably something we should put on our website.
Probably.
Darcy also made, amongst her other talents, Darcy maintains my website for me. So I'm going to take the shears and I'm going to cut the glass. And that's what all those things are. Those are all from different pieces. Okay, so now that's pretty even and centered and nice and round. So now I'm going to do little pinches in the top. Darcy, show the pinches on the bowl, please.
So Pat said, Happy Teacher Appreciation Day, Mark. You've been teaching so many of us. Thanks.
Thank you. And I do appreciate all the teachers out there. I'm sure many parents are now appreciating all the teachers out there a little bit more. I'm sure the alcohol consumption has gone up in some houses. So I'm just going to take these glass tweezers and I'm going to make the little pinch marks on it. Alright, now the next step is going to be to open up the piece. So it's going to be wider, more like a bowl. Again, I can heat the whole piece up so that the attachment where the rod is connected doesn't get too cold and snap off. So I'm heating the lip, the top part of it, really hard, really hot, and flashing the whole piece. And then coming out and opening up the mouth some more. So this is kind of a cool bowl shape, but I want to do a square bowl. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to heat the top part up really hot, and I'm going to use centrifugal force and spin it open and make it wide. So if you remember, we talked about centrifugal force, I think last week. Centrifugal force is the force that moves away from the center of the mass. The center of the mass is where the rod is attached, and you'll see it start to flare out from that center point. So I'm going to get this as hot as I can, and then turn it really fast. see it flared out from centrifugal force. And I'm going to use my paddle to do my final shape on it. And there you have a square bowl. So the final thing we're going to do is we're going to take it off of the rod and put it in the oven. So if I put this on correctly, I should just be able to tap it and it comes right off. If I put it on too hot, that would have been really a hard, it'll take a hole out of it or not come off at all. So I'm taking this a torch and I'm just fire polishing the bottom, which means I'm taking away the sharp points where it detached. And I'll put on my gloves, warm them a tiny bit, and there is your square bowl. All right, so again, let's explain the annealing process. So annealing is, if I just took that bowl and left it on the table when I was done, it would go from about 1200 degrees down to room temperature, 90 degrees, too fast. And it would go from hot to cold too fast and crack. So what that oven does is, that's at 920 degrees. So the piece goes in there and comes down to 920, stays there for a few hours, and at the end of the day, I'll put it on a turn down and it'll come down to room temperature over about 16 hours or so. So tomorrow morning, I'll be able to get it out of the oven and make sure everything is good, it's not cracked, it's perfect. And if we have any finish work to do on it, which means grinding and polishing, we would do that at that point. And then pack it up and ship it to you. Anyway, that's it for today. What we have, again, we're going to have a quiz. A nice, simple, it's not a, don't worry about being quiz, it's a fun quiz. Don't let the word quiz really stump you. For kids 16 and under. So what we'll do is we'll post a link to the quiz, and you can go on there, take the little fun quiz, submit it back to us, and we'll do a drawing next Thursday, and I'll be making marbles on Thursday. So the winner will get the cool marble and a stand put on their shelf or their desk or whatever. Okay, again, we have a question?
One question?
One question for you.
Jimmy wants to know, is the live piece today sold?
Is the live piece sold? No, it is not. So, again, we're rosetreegallery.com on the World Wide Web. On Facebook, we're Rosetree Blown Glass, but you know that because you're watching now. Instagram, we're Rosetree Glass Gallery. We have some great specials on there. We have some sales, and we're posting pretty much there. That's where we're not, our galleries and all are pretty much closed for what's going on now. So the only way we're really selling our work is through our website and online. So we'd love your support. I want to thank you all for being here. As always, love one another, be good to one another. Thanks for coming. We will see you on Thursday with some more questions that will go on our little fun quiz. Tell your friends, tell your teachers, librarians, administrators, parents. We're going to have a good time and give away a nice marble. Take care. Thanks for coming.